Tonight, another hail of bullets and growing fears of terrorism in the U.S.
That's right. The man accused of trying to assassinate a Philadelphia police officer told authorities that he was inspired by ISIS. KCAL 9's Dave Bryan joins us now with the latest on the police shooting and more suspected terrorist arrests. Dave?
A lot of moving parts in the report tonight, and they could have some serious political implications as well. The new information about the alleged ISIS-inspired police shooting comes on the same day two other men with suspected terrorist ties had their first court appearance, one of them in Sacramento. That brought new calls from some Republicans to stop a program to relocate thousands of Middle East refugees in the U.S. But first, the latest on the officer shooting in Philadelphia by an ISIS loyalist.
Shot fired! Get that scream! I'm shot! I'm bleeding heavily!
All cars stand by. We have an officer shot.
The surveillance video shows the shooting in all its horror as a man in a white coat, gun blazing, attacked a 33-year-old Philadelphia police officer who was sitting in his patrol car. Officer Jesse Hartnett amazingly survived the ordeal even after being ambushed at point-blank range Thursday night.
That is chilling, absolutely chilling when you watch that. This could have easily been a police funeral.
Police say the suspect, 30-year-old Edward Archer, fired at least a dozen shots, here still shooting with his arm reaching into the patrol car, wounding Officer Hartnett in the left arm, who still got out of the car and chased the suspect, returning the fire and wounding the shooter, who was later arrested. Police say Archer declared he's a Muslim and admitted he shot the officer out of loyalty to ISIS.
He stated that he pledges his allegiance to Islamic State. He follows Allah, and that is the reason he was called upon to do this.
According to him, he believed that the police defend laws that are contrary to the teachings of the Quran.
CBS News reports the suspect, Archer, is believed to have made at least 2 trips to the Middle East in 2011 and 2012. But it's not clear whether he had any direct connection to an organized terrorist organization. Meanwhile, Officer Hartnett remains in the hospital in critical but stable condition. His father says his son will survive.
Be tough road. He's a tough guy.
This latest alleged terrorist shooting took place on the same day 23-year-old Sacramento resident Oz Al-Jayab was arrested on alleged terrorism offenses and now has made an appearance in Sacramento federal court. Prosecutors charge Al-Jayab traveled to Syria to fight with rebels against President Assad. A Palestinian born in Iraq, he came to the U.S. as an Iraqi refugee in 2012. But in short order, he was communicating with terrorists in Syria. In March and April 2013, he messaged, "I am coming to Syria. I am eager to see blood." Investigators say in November 2013 he entered Syria from Turkey, where they say he took up arms with terrorist organizations and concealed that from immigration authorities when he returned to the U.S. in 2014. U.S. authorities call Jayab a foreign fighter in Syria, one of about 250 who came from the U.S.
Much of the evidence that we do have is voices he's been speaking with, persons he's been connecting with, some in Turkey, some in Syria, in order to try to join a militant cause.
Al-Jayab's arrest and the arrest of another man in Texas on similar charges have fanned the flames of controversy surrounding the Obama administration's Syria refugee relocation program in America.
These arrests tonight underscore how utterly indefensible President Obama and Hillary Clinton's proposal is to bring tens of thousands of Syrian refugees into this country.
They're ticking time bombs. And how many ticking time bombs are we going to bring in this refugee program without a proper vetting system in place?
Tonight, the Obama administration says the screening process is rigorous for the Syrian refugees relocating in the U.S. According to court papers, the 2 men who were arrested in Sacramento and Houston this week communicated on social media and discussed going to Syria to fight. Andrea?